Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. We made it to midweek push, which is truly, truly a blessing. I hope and pray that everybody's ready to get to this midweek so we can get to the second half of the week. Hope everybody's prepared for that. Hope everybody's in anticipation for that because there's definitely something in store. There's definitely something in store for you that you should be in anticipation for and expectation for, because the Lord is definitely doing a work. All right, before I get started, I'll open up with a word of prayer. I'll open up with a word of prayer. Lord, Heavenly Father, precious name of Jesus, we just come to you and just say thank you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for being the God you are. Thank you for your grace, your mercy, your love, your peace, and your understanding. I pray that as we dive into this word this morning, this word will edify us, this word will touch us in a mighty way. This word will be everything that we need us to be to continue to go the upward way. I thank you for every person that watches this video, whether it's live to replay. This word will edify them. This word will touch them. That you just allow me to decrease and you increase in and through me, that they get what they need to get out of this word. We love you, we honor you, and we praise your name, Jesus Christ. Pray, amen. If you have missed Morning Manna, highly suggest you catch up on Morning Manna by going to my YouTube channel at I'm JaNea Amelia, because my YouTube channel is pretty much the only place that really stores mannas. Facebook and TikTok, which I'm also live on, do not store my mannas. They disappear after a certain period of time. But my YouTube channel has all my mannas. So if you miss manna, you can always go to my YouTube channel, and I have everything organized based off a playlist. I'm very, very anal about that. I want everybody to be able to find everything they need to find. So you can find me on YouTube at I am JaNea Amelia. As far as my channel, you can find me at I am JaNea Amelia on everything, honestly, except TikTok. My name is JaNea Amelia Speaks. And just as a reminder, I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at 6:30 a.m. to bring you a word on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I'm live in three places for you. So you have three options to watch me. But YouTube is the only place where you can like really replay my word. All right. So for the month of March, the Lord's giving me assignments to come from the series called or entitled Unlocked. It's either going to be a revelation or a realization for you. Maybe you need to unlock something. Maybe you need to see what you have access to. Maybe you need to see what has more potential. That's what we're talking about for the month of March. It has been an amazing thing. So my last manna, which was on Monday, we came from a title Hard Truth Part 1. And I told you on Wednesday we're going to come from a title Hard Truth Part 2. And the Lord came through with that. We are coming from the title Hard Truth Part 2. If you did not watch Part 1, after you watch Part 2, I would go watch Part 1. It's very, very important for you to understand these hard truths as we dive into this idea of unlocked. Lots to go over, a little bit of time, but we're going to get it done. So this is Hard Truth Part 2. So I Googled key concepts of unlocking because I just wanted to see what Google was going to say. And sometimes Google's a good research in terms of illustrations, right? So I Googled key concepts of unlocking, and Google gave me three key concepts. Let me say it correctly. Three key concepts for unlocking. You have binding, you have override, and you have release. You have binding, you have override, and you have release. Binding is identifying which part of the lock is stuck, and it's essential for successful picking. So when you know which part is stuck, you can pick that part to unlock something. When we talk about overriding, it's using a secondary method such as an override code or a tool to open a lock without the primary key, right? That's overriding. Releasing is the ultimate action of disengaging a fastener, such as in a car or in a container. So you have binding, overriding, and releasing. Those are three key concepts in terms of unlocking. I hope you're following me. So each concept is a concept of unlocking and requires something to be seen as an opportunity, a need, or a want. Each of these concepts requires something to be seen as an opportunity, a need, or a want, in a manner in which if unlocking occurs, it will be noticed, in a manner in which if unlocking occurs, so if that thing gets unlocked, it will be noticed because everyone sees that it is locked. The hard truth is that You may have to experience being locked up just for the unlocking, just so the unlocking can be noticed. I'm gonna say it again. The hard truth is that you may have to experience being locked up just for the unlocking to be noticed. So you may have to be locked up just so the unlocking can be noticed. The experience is specifically for unlocking. The experience of you being locked up, whatever in whichever way, is specifically for the unlocking to occur. So when this idea really came to mind, I really tried to, gather my thoughts, gather everything together. I came to the three Hebrew boys, right? That's where I came. That's where I came to. Talking about this hard truth that sometimes you have to be locked up just so that the unlocking can be noticed, right? So I came to the three Hebrew boys, and we're gonna read. I'm not gonna read the whole story because I don't have time. I'm gonna just read Daniel chapter 3, verses 23 through 25, New King James Version. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then King Nebuchadnezzar was astonished, and he rose in haste and spoke, saying, Counselor, did we not cast three men into the midst of the fire? And they answered to the king, True, O king. Look, he answered, I see four men loose walking in the midst of the fire. They are not hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of God. So there was a standard established on the land that the people should bow down and worship a statue when they hear a sound, just to give a little context to the text. But the three Hebrew boys refused to do so. The three men would rather die than obey King Nebuchadnezzar's command. Nebuchadnezzar ends up being angry by their refusal to worship and their disloyalty to his throne. His response was for them to go into the fiery furnace. After being thrown into the furnace was checked to see what was left after the experience. The king was amazed, but he was also frightened and horrified at the same time because he put three men in the furnace, not four men in the furnace. The fourth man was not just any man. The man was a divine being, or it looked as if it was a divine being. The king verified the number of young men who had been bound and cast into the furnace. He declared that he saw four men walking about within the furnace, yet the flames had not harmed them. Thus Nebuchadnezzar recognized that the God these three Hebrew boys worshipped was real. The God that they talked about was real. The God that they talked about came through. So this was a remarkable admission by King Nebuchadnezzar. Up until then, he had believed that his Babylonian gods were superior. As the three had predicted, their God was able to deliver them from the furnace. I had to say all that. I had to say all that to kind of give you an idea or to get you to understand where we're going with this hard truth. The king thought he had their destiny in his hands, but he didn't. He thought he had their destiny in his hands, but he didn't. When he locked them up, it was an opportunity for God, for who God is, to be unlocked. When he locked them up, it was an opportunity to see who God is. There was an opportunity for who God is to be unlocked. Google said that there are three concepts for unlocking. I said binding, I said overriding, and I said releasing. And I was able to kind of line this up to this whole idea of this hard truth that sometimes you have to be locked up so that people can notice the unlocking. So binding is identifying which part of the lock is stuck, and it's essential for successful picking. In this situation, what was stuck was the mindset that anybody else was superior than God. That's what was stuck, right? Overriding is using a secondary method such as an override code tool to open a lock without the primary key, right? So it's using something to override what has already been established. In this situation, what was overridden was the purpose of the furnace, which was to exhaust and to destroy. The furnace didn't do what it was called to do. It was overridden. It was overridden, right? Releasing. It's the ultimate action of disengaging. In this situation, in this story, the release was the faith that the Hebrew boys had in God. So the unlocking experience went through binding, it went through releasing, and it went through overriding. The three Hebrew boys violated the king's command and risked their lives rather than serve or worship any God except their own God. They got locked up for the manifestation of God to be unlocked. That's what I'm trying to get through. They got locked up for the manifestation of God to be unlocked. Your situation is just a path to show you who God is, or to show who God is, right? That sometimes your situation is just to show who God is. You may be persecuted for doing the right thing, but your locking up isn't a lockout. We have to understand that. Don't be afraid to be put away or to be punished, because when you come out, it's going to be for others to see. That's where I'm trying to get to. When you come out, it's for others to see. You don't have to be out of the hand or the mind of your opposer in order to come out. I'm gonna say that again. You don't have to be out of the mind or the hand of your opposer in order to come out. The three Hebrew boys was in the fiery furnace and got freed in the fiery furnace. What was made to destroy them, to exhaust them, didn't end up doing that. And they didn't have to get out of that in order to be unlocked, in a sense, right? They didn't have to do that. So that kind of teaches us everything that's going to happen to you, right? If you're in the mind or the hand of your opposer who's trying to do X, Y, and Z to you, everything God is going to do is going to happen right in front of them. I need you to get that. They didn't have to get out of the fiery furnace in order for King Nebuchadnezzar to see their God. They didn't have to get out of it. So that teaches us everything that God's going to do. If they're trying to lock you up, whatever sense they're trying to lock you up, is going to happen right in front of them. So you have to be willing to stay there to experience the unlocking. They walked towards their doom. Let's just be honest. They walked into this whole situation, but they had so much faith, believe God was going to show up and come through for them. That's why this is a hard truth. Because sometimes you have to experience a lock up in order for an unlocking to be seen by other people. They didn't know how God was going to do it, but they knew the fact that God was going to do something. You may want to avoid whatever it is, whatever your opposer may be trying to put you up against, because they decided not to bow down when they heard the sound. They were supposed to bow down. They decided not to do that, right? Whatever your opposer has in front of you, you may want to avoid it, right? Because you're like, I don't want to be punished. I don't want to have to deal with this. I don't want to have to deal with that. And you may want to avoid it to keep the peace, or to feel more comfortable, or to make someone else happy. But at the end of the day, whatever you have to do, even if it's against something that is a standard, or against something that is against your beliefs of what you should do, understand, if you do the right thing, God is going to come through for you. But whatever you may have to go through is for them to see. That's what I need you to understand. Sometimes you have to go through the worst. Sometimes you have to go through something just for them to see. And you're going to remain untouched just for them to see. So you have to be willing to take it. You have to be willing to take it. Three Hebrew boys could have just did what King Nebuchadnezzar told them to do, to avoid going to the fiery furnace, because they wanted peace. They wanted to make him happy. They didn't want to be a target no more. But instead of doing that, they decided to do the right thing and trust and have faith in their God, that their God was going to come through. So the hard truth, you may have to experience being locked up just for the unlocking to be noticed. We have to understand what you go through, what you experience has to be, or maybe bigger than you, because you serve a big God. Maybe you have to go through whatever that is. Maybe you have to go through that persecution. Maybe you have to go through that punishment. You may have to go through that isolation, whatever it is, just for them to see the unlocking, just for them to see it. Because sometimes people don't understand something until they see it. You have to show them something. And sometimes God has to show them something. And He is using you as a vessel, as a mechanism, so that the manifestation of Him can come through. So don't be discouraged in these situations. When you're doing the right thing and you have to experience persecution, or you have to experience punishment for it, or you have to experience something harsh with that situation, don't think that God is not going to come through for you. That's the whole thing with all this. Do not think God is not going to come through for you. All it is so that he can pretty much show a manifestation of himself for them to see. He wants them to see. If you type that in the chat, he wants them to see it. He wants them to see it. Why? Because they still went through the fiery furnace and remained untouched. They still remained untouched. They had to go experience it. They had to walk in it. But they remained untouched. But it was for them to see it. So sometimes you have to be locked up into something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what your situation is. But sometimes you have to be locked up for something so that they can see the unlocking. And what did in this situation what needed to be seen? The manifestation of who actually God is and what God is able to do. Because any other God is not greater than God. Not greater than God. So this is a hard truth. This is a really hard truth. Why do I have to experience this? I'm doing the right thing. I don't understand why this is happening. Like, we ask all these other questions, but you're going through it for them to see it. So maybe you have to walk into that fiery furnace. I'm sorry. Maybe you're going to have to do it. You're doing the right thing. You're 100% doing the right thing. And maybe you have to walk to it so they can see something. It's for them to see it. It's for them to see it. Because some people want to walk you towards your doom. Some people want to walk you to trouble. Some people want to walk you through challenges, trauma, or whatever. Because they think that they have your destiny in their hands, and they don't. God has your destiny in his hands. They don't. They don't. But sometimes their evil workings that they're trying to do, God uses that to show a manifestation of himself in a manner in which no one has experienced before, just so they can see it. So don't get discouraged because it's for them to see. It's for them to see. Some people be taken through the ringer with so much stuff. But guess what? It's for them to see. I may be locked up, but I'm not locked out. He is allowing this to happen to me for a reason, for a purpose, and God's never going to leave me alone. This unlocking is going to happen, but this is the unlocking for the manifestation of who God is, or who my God is. That's what it's for. The manifestation of who my God is. So you may have to experience being locked up. I don't know what your locked up is, right? You may have to experience a locked up, but the unlocking is for other people to notice. That's what it's for. They lock you up in something, but the unlocking is for other people to notice. They didn't have to not go into the fiery furnace for any of this to happen. They had to go to it. That's what I'm trying to get in your mind. They had to go to the fiery furnace for this to happen. So there are key concepts in unlocking. Well, according to Google, you got binding, you have releasing, and overriding. Binding, releasing, and overriding. And that's something we have to really understand with all this. And the Biden situation, it had to be seen that they were stuck, that their God was greater, right? They were stuck. They were stuck with the mindset that nobody was superior to the Babylonian gods. Nobody was superior, whatever, but that had to be noticed, right? They had to override, right? Overriding happened in this situation. The furnace wasn't used for the purpose that it was made to be used for. That was overridden. That was overridden. And then the releasing in this situation, the release was the fact that the Hebrew boys had faith in their God, because the releasing when unlocking is a disengaging, right? They had to disengage from whatever it seemed like was a path of doom and really just engage into who God was. That takes a process. That's work. That's work. But this is a hard truth, but you want talking about it. I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, but I hope somebody get what I'm trying to say. Whole 100% hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. It's for them to see. You can just write that in the comments. It's just for them to see. Sometimes it's just for them to see. You're just a vessel just for them to see. Just like Jesus dying on the cross. I can't even go there. It's for them to see. It's just for them to see. They don't want to believe you, so the Lord has to make a path just for them to see. Just for them to see. It's just for them to see. And after that, it's all good. Praise Yahweh. Praise the Lord. He's amazing. So I hope this word blessed you this morning. If you feel led, please comment below. Use interactions when you guys do that. Really helps Manna's get out for sure. Don't be a gatekeeper. Share me with somebody. Please share me with somebody. Also, don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms. My name is JaNea Hailey on everything except TikTok. My name is JaNea Hailey Speaks. I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at 6:30 a.m. to bring you a word. So you have 3 options to watch me on. Replays is best to watch on YouTube at I'm JaNea Hailey on YouTube. Also, my ministry, the Outcry Experience, I'll be having one in April. Very, very excited about it. I'm having one in April. You feel free to follow Outcry Experience on social media platforms at the Outcry EXP to join the ministry, because the Lord is definitely doing an amazing work. But I'll be having one in April on April 11th. Very excited for it. It's called Deeper. It's going to be a very, very great time in the Lord. I'm very excited about this time. Intimate time with the Lord. This is my 3rd Outcry Experience that I'm having. Excuse me. I'm very excited for. I'm asking everyone to register so that me and my team can be prepared for who's coming, because we need to be prepared for who's coming and be ready for what you have for us, what God has for us, excuse me. So if you can please register. If you don't register, you can still pull up and I will kick you out. Also, I will be having a pop-up shop there for my clothing line, the Movement Apparel line. Shirts will be $5 and $10. So you'll be able for sure able to support my ministry by buying t-shirts, and definitely is very useful because a lot of stuff I do is for free, but there is a cost behind the scenes that people do not see. So you can support the ministry. Greatly, greatly appreciate it, because I'm really trying to grow this thing. The Lord has really been pouring and giving me stuff. So I'm very, very excited about. I'm very, very excited about this one. It's called Deeper. And the title in itself, the graphic blows my mind every time I look at it, because I really fasted for that. I really fasted for the title. I really had to sit down and talk to God. We're still talking, having conversations all the time so that I can do exactly what He wants me to do. So I'm very, very excited. I'm very, very, very excited for it. So I hope to see everybody there. I just hope these hard truths these past 2 days has been encouraging to you. If it has been encouraging, please write it in the comments so that I can know. I like hearing feedback. But I need to go to work. So I hope you guys enjoy your Wednesday and Thursday. I'll be back on Friday as we continue with this Unlocked series. God bless you and thank you for watching. See ya.